Books are the mirrors of the soul. I would venture to guess that Anon, who wrote so many poems without signing them, was often a woman. Lock up your libraries if you like, but there is no gate, no lock, no bolt that you can set upon the freedom of my mind. Why are women so much more interesting to men than men are to women? If you do not tell the truth about yourself, you cannot tell it about other people. One cannot think well, love well, sleep well, if one has not dined well. As a woman I have no country. As a woman I want no country. As a woman, my country is the whole world. I can only note that the past is beautiful because one never realizes an emotion at the time. It expands later, and thus we don't have complete emotions about the present, only about the past. When you consider things like the stars, our affairs don't seem to matter very much, do they? As long as she thinks of a man, nobody objects to a woman thinking. The eyes of others are prisons, their thoughts are cages. No need to hurry. No need to sparkle. No need to be anybody but oneself. Growing up is losing some illusions, in order to acquire others. There was a star riding through clouds one night, and I said to the star, "Consume me." Women have served all these centuries as looking glasses possessing the magic and delicious power of reflecting the figure of man at twice its natural size. Nothing thicker than a knife's blade separates happiness from melancholy. I am rooted, but I flow. Anon, who wrote so many poems without signing them, was often a woman. Second-hand books are wild books, homeless books. They have come together in vast flocks of variegated feather, and have a charm which the domesticated volumes of the library lack. Writing is like sex. First you do it for love, then you do it for your friends, and then you do it for money. How much better is silence, the coffee cup, the table? How much better to sit by myself like the solitary seabird that opens its wings on the stake? Let me sit here forever with bare things, this coffee cup, this knife, this fork, things in themselves, myself being myself. What is the meaning of life? That was all a simple question, one that tended to close in on one with years. The great revelation had never come. The great revelation perhaps never did come. Instead, there were little daily miracles, illuminations, matches struck unexpectedly in the dark. Here was one. A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. Love, the poet said, is woman's whole existence. A woman knows very well that, though a wit sends her his poems, praises her judgment, solicits her criticism, and drinks her tea, this by no means signifies that he respects her opinions. Admires her understanding, or will refuse, though the rapier is denied him, to run through the body with his pen. Orlando naturally loved solitary places, vast views, and to feel himself forever and ever alone. All extremes of feeling are allied with madness. I thought how unpleasant it is to be locked out, and I thought how it is worse, perhaps, to be locked in. The history of men's opposition to women's emancipation is more interesting perhaps than the story of that emancipation itself. The truth is, I often like women. I like their unconventionality. I like their completeness. I like their anonymity. Melancholy were the sounds on a winter's night. I have lost friends, some by death, others by sheer inability to cross the street. So long as you write what you wish to write, that is all that matters, and whether it matters for ages or only for hours, nobody can say. Alone, I often fall down into nothingness. I must push my foot stealthily lest I should fall off the edge of the world into nothingness. I have to bang my head against some hard door to call myself back to the body. She had the perpetual sense, as she watched the taxi cabs, of being out, far out to sea and alone. She always had the feeling that it was very, very dangerous to live even one day. To look life in the face, always, to look life in the face, and to know it for what it is, at last, to love it for what it is, and then, to put it away. He thought her beautiful, believed her impeccably wise, dreamed of her, wrote poems to her, which, ignoring the subject, she corrected in red ink. I will not be famous, great. I will go on adventuring, changing, opening my mind and my eyes, refusing to be stamped and stereotyped. The thing is to free oneself, to let it find its dimensions, not be impeded. I am made and remade continually. Different people draw different words from me. What does the brain matter compared with the heart? I meant to write about death, only life came breaking in as usual. Literature is strewn with the wreckage of those who have minded beyond reason the opinion of others. I have a deeply hidden and inarticulate desire for something beyond the daily life. It might be possible that the world itself is without meaning. I see you everywhere, in the stars, in the river, to me you're everything that exists, the reality of everything. When I cannot see words curling like rings of smoke round me, I am in darkness, I am nothing. I don't believe in aging. I believe in forever altering one's aspect to the sun. And all the lives we ever lived and all the lives to be are full of trees and changing leaves. Mrs. Dalloway is always giving parties to cover the silence. Blame it or praise it, there is no denying the wild horse in us. He smiled the most exquisite smile, veiled by memory, tinged by dreams. I worship you, but I loathe marriage. I hate its smugness, its safety, its compromise and the thought of you interfering with my work, hindering me. What would you answer? Anything may happen when womanhood has ceased to be a protected occupation. Each has his past shut in him like the leaves of a book known to him by heart, and his friends can only read the title. She thought there were no gods, no one was to blame, and so she evolved this atheist's religion of doing good for the sake of goodness. I'm sick to death of this particular self. I want another. I am in the mood to dissolve in the sky. I want to write a novel about silence, he said, the things people don't say. The beauty of the world has two edges, one of laughter, one of anguish, cutting the heart asunder. They went in and out of each other's minds without any effort. Fiction is like a spider's web, attached ever so lightly perhaps, but still attached to life at all four corners. Just in case you ever foolishly forget, I'm never not thinking of you. Really, I don't like human nature unless all candid over with art. It is 1,000 pities never to say what one feels. Arrange whatever pieces come your way. To love makes one solitary. For this moment, this one moment, we are together. I press you to me. Come, pain, feed on me. Bury your fangs in my flesh. Tear me asunder. I sob, I sob. How many times have people used a pen or paintbrush because they couldn't pull the trigger? I feel so intensely the delights of shutting oneself up in a little world of one's own, with pictures and music and everything beautiful. It is far harder to kill a phantom than a reality. It is in our idleness, in our dreams, that the submerged truth sometimes makes its way to the surface. Thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe my channel if you like it.